everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am Old Ed Fries, and I'm joined by the one and only, the natural Ash Bizarro. Ashford, how you doing tonight?
I'm glad WrestleMania weekend's over. It was fun.
Too.
It was fun, but exhausting. How are you doing?
You know what? I'll be happy when Marvel Talk's over tomorrow night, and I don't have to do streams for like 6 days.
There you go.
Or 4 if we decide to do Talking Takeover. But we have some friends in the chat that we want to go ahead and say hello to. We got Barry Monkey saying, the fun of looking which stream has people in it to annoy. Hello, Barry. Thank you for joining us. We've got Bobby Munson joining in saying, hello, my friends. Hello, Mr. Bobby Munson. Noel Taken's here giving a wave. Good evening, Noel. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. It's been a busy week. Thankfully, we're wrapping it up. NXT seems to be the end of WrestleMania week. But you know what? Wrestling season doesn't slow down. We got the draft coming. We apparently got a 2-week spring breaking coming right in the middle of the draft. So, yay. NXT champions beware. It's NXT's last opportunity to take that title off you before they get and Raw or SmackDown drafts you. Huh. But tonight's episode was pretty good.
Yeah.
I have a rant to go on later, but we'll save that for later. We start the show with a very interesting look at the show. It goes in from behind the scenes to people on a ramp to behind a curtain to right out into the crowd, where Roxanne Perez's music plays, and she does her "I'm gonna shake my butt" pose at the camera, even though there's now nothing to see because she has nothing on her jeans and nothing on the back of her jacket. So I go back to the point of this is exactly what it's for. She just used the fact that there are words there to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Bobby. That is new for me. A rant, something I've never done before.
Oh my god.
It's been a while since I've had a good rant, too. You
Yeah.
know, I was letting other people get rants in. I know Honor Ramble's been doing a couple small rants. They've been the little baby rants. I know Astrid, I think you had a little baby rant on one of them.
Yeah, I did. Did I make you proud? I hope I did.
You did. I was a proud papa seeing people on this channel started ranting other than me.
Yes.
Especially when it's Auntie Collins and when it's Astrid, you know. It's always nice to see other people ranting who aren't just chubby white guy talking wrestling.
That's true.
Roxanne Perez cuts a promo. She talks directly to a camera as opposed to addressing the audience, which is a bit awkward and I didn't like. Like, I understand, know where the camera is, find the camera, talk to the camera. But if the camera's in the corner, you don't continue to talk over here and then walk right to the camera and look down the fucking center of the camera with your beady little eyes. And by the way, no, this isn't the rant. She talks about being a 2-time champion and how she's going to keep this title till they take it away from her because she's never going to lose it and she's going to get drafted in 2 weeks. It would have had more punch. It would have had more punch if the draft wasn't 2 weeks away.
Yep.
She's like, I'm going to keep this title till they take it away from me when I get drafted to Raw or SmackDown. Cool. So I won't have to worry about you in 3 weeks. Got it. Even better. See you, Roxanne. Don't even bother coming to work. Take the title back to Texas and hold on to it for a couple of weeks. I don't want to sit on the programming until you get drafted.
I don't like it.
Noel saying it's her thing now. Too late to change it until she gets to Maine. I just have a problem with people like finding a camera that's supposed to be looking at you and looking straight down it. And it's something I didn't notice I hated until new rock stars started pointing it out to me when kids just look at the camera for no apparent reason. Barry Monkey playing devil's advocate, you're full of crap, Ed. Whatever your rant is, you're wrong. Whatever the opposite to whatever you rant about is true. I think you might disagree when you hear the rant.
Oh,
but we'll wait. Ashley, what did you think of Roxanne's promo here?
The thing that bothered me about it was her letting the crowd take control over it. Because not only are you wasting time, but it loses the focus from her to the crowd. And sometimes it's kind of hard to get it back. And her being new when it comes to being a heel, I feel like she wasted time by taking kind of like the focus from herself to them and then back to herself and like kind of like playing ping pong in that kind of sense. What?
You mean you didn't love it when she told the crowd to shut the hell up because she's the champ and she's going to talk now?
No, maybe not. But either way. Yeah, it was just, I hate it when they do it because I know if you give it attention, they'll keep going with it. So it's like, that's the problem with me because she keeps pointing to it. So they're going to go higher or they're going to change it and do something a little bit more louder because they noticed they got your attention. So it's like, I don't like that aspect of it because you're losing time and you're losing not only the time, but I think about it this way. When you're doing a promo, you're kind of going in like a certain rhythm and that kind of breaks the rhythm away. and then you have to get back into it, it feels kind of awkward in that sense of it. So it's like I would rather you ignore it and try to talk a little bit louder, because then they can notice, oh, we're not going to win against her, and then you win in the end. And I feel like that would have looked better than her giving the attention, and then we kind of lose a little bit of the rhythm that we had going on so far, which is the part that bothers me about it. She was fine. I'm like, not a big deal when it came to the promo in itself. But again, it's just like I don't like the fact of, like you said, just like, oh, I'm gonna lose it when when I, and then I go to Raw and SmackDown. So you're telling me that you're gonna lose it like 2 weeks maybe? Is that what you're telling me? It's like, then what was the point of giving her the championship if you're gonna do that? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And it's a little bit of a rant that will go on later on with the main event as well. I don't like that part of it. So might as well either have kept the championship on Lyra or added somebody else to the match so that way they could win the title and they could stay in NXT. Because it just, I don't like when you're giving it away to me like that, in that aspect of like, I'm gonna be champion up until I get drafted. So I'm like, okay, so in 2-3 weeks you're telling me you're not gonna be champion anymore. Good to know. Thanks. Yeah.
Noelle Taken says she hasn't learned how to shut a crowd down yet. Learned from Charlotte. Barry Monkey says, I agree. Never give the crowd the feeling of power. You'll never get it back.
Yeah.
She's not The Rock. She's not Roman Reigns. Like, there's a famous promo. I mean, I'm sure we're all wrestling fans. We're sitting here on the internet talking wrestling. We all know it. The night after Roman Reigns defeats The Undertaker. That promo is 10 minutes long. Roman Reigns says 5 words. He sits there, and every time he starts to try to get to the mic, the crowd gets louder, and the crowd gets louder. And it's that night after Mania crowd, and they're hot and they're rabid. And The Undertaker basically retired the night before. He left all his clothes in the ring. He stripped down to just the wrestling tights, and everything else was left in the ring. And then Roman looks straight down the camera. This is my yard now. Drops the mic, walks away.
I mean, we saw it yesterday. That promo took 40 minutes because of The Rock taking his time with the microphone. It was like, this? I hate that. Why you keep... I know you're teasing it because you know the people are going to react, but you're taking it a lot longer now by doing this back and forth with, with the microphone and the crowd and the microphone and the crowd.
You need to stop doing that motion. You need to stop.
Yeah, I noticed. But either way, it's just like, I don't like it, that back and forth. I know why he does it, obviously, because he's a heel. But it also bothers me with the fact of like, I'm going to talk, but then the crowd takes over. And then the promo takes 40 minutes when it could have been cut out in half at least.
But it's different when you're The Rock and when you're Roxanne.
I'm just saying it bothers me overall.
Oh, I agree. I hated I literally went to CVS and got back before the promo was over. The CVS is 5 minutes down the road. I went to CVS, looked around for cheap Easter candy, got cheap Easter candy, got what I needed from CVS, and got home. And Ilya Dragunov was just making his way to the ring.
Yeah.
Like, I get
Not a fan.
And the worst part about both of those is those were commercial-free segments. You're commercial-free. You need to be putting on important things in these commercial-free segments. And you know what? NXT did better than Raw about this. But the fact that the only things that Raw got into their hour-long commercial-free segment was the Cody stuff, the Cody Rock promo, and then the Ilya Dragunov Nakamura match is kind of sad.
Very.
Lyra comes out and tells her, well, you know what? If you're just going to leave in 2 weeks, go ahead and leave. Just give me back my fucking title and you can go. You can stay on Raw. You can go to SmackDown. We don't give a shit. Give us the title back so somebody who wants it can hold it. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. And she's like, I'm going to challenge you for the title tonight. And I'm like, that might not be a good idea. Your arm's in a sling. So unless you're doing this whole rope-a-dope thing, oh, my arm's not good. Oh, my arm's fine. Not a good idea. Tatum pops up out of her special little hole in between the crowd and the barrier. I'm now calling that Tatum's... what was it? I had it written down. The thing around Tatum's moat. You know the moat around a castle? It's Tatum's moat. Tatum pops up and she starts trying to talk to Lyra. Says it's not hers anymore and throws her into the steel steps. And she starts to walk away. Well, the referees lead her away. And Roxanne's like, well, guess I'm done for the night. And out comes Natalya, and I'm like, wow, okay, they're fitting a lot into this segment. At least they're doing something. It's not just a small thing. They're getting more and more into it. Natalya tells her that she's won every championship, which I had to fact check because I didn't remember how many titles Natalya's won.
I was thinking the same thing.
Forever.
I was thinking the same thing as I kept thinking. She's won the tag titles, I know for sure. I know she was SmackDown Women's Champion, but I was like, I don't remember her.
Champ too.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't remember her win the Raw Women's Championship. That was the only thing. So I was like, yeah, I guess you're kind of right.
You're right by default because I don't care enough to say you haven't.
Yeah.
But she wants to win the NXT title, and they reference that she challenged for this 10 years ago, which we've talked about on Talking Takeover, which you can see on our YouTube channel. And she challenges Roxanne. Roxanne's like, nope, this isn't happening. This is my show. And as soon as she said my show, I'm like, oh, okay, Ava's coming out. Because every time a heel wrestler thinks that the show's their show and they're not Roman Reigns, they are corrected. Because when Roman Reigns says it's his show, nobody bothers to say word one about it. By the way, respects for the tribal chief. You lost. Congratulations. Today is day one, if you haven't seen, of the comeback tour. He mourned on Monday. Today was day one of the comeback. Barry says, glad you resisted saying Tatum's hole. Yes, I thought about it and then went with moat. That's why I took so long saying moat, because the word in the notes was hole, and I realized that was a bad idea. Bobby says, it's a top thing, believe it or not. Wrestlers are encouraged to aggravate the crowd as much as possible. It's one thing to do it during indie wrestling. It's one thing to do it on professional television. It's another thing to do it when USA gives you 30 minutes commercial free and you waste 10 of them arguing with the crowd and you still can't cut a fucking promo. Again, the difference between Roxanne and The Rock. The Rock gets to do it because he's on the board. The Rock gets to do it because millions of people actually give a damn what the fuck he has to say. Roxanne, no. She doesn't have millions of people who care what she says. I like Roxanne. I think she's super talented. She's not The Rock. They're in different classes. I don't think that's a bad women's wrestling take. I'll be honest. It's going to be hilarious when she stays with NXT. Oh, I guarantee you she's staying in NXT. She's not getting drafted, and I'm going to be miserable for the next 8 months. No peeps. Natalya's career is more memorable. I agree. Natalya's career is way more memorable than title runs. I agree. She's been here forever, and she's fantastic, and she's done a lot of great things. But anytime she mentions championships, I start to go, huh, did you?
You're like, that one time.
I'm like, I don't remember the last time you've held the championship. Noelle throwing up the ones for Roman Reigns. But Vivio probably Bunsen saying, I've been down since day one-ish. And also saying, they knew it was going to happen with that crowd. As fans, they had to do it. That's why they were... But see, I feel like they need to get more use out of these commercial-free things, which is why I think they should never do promos during commercial-free hours or half hours. Mm-hmm. You should always be doing wrestling in those times. Or do something backstage where you can't hear the crowd and you can just do something. Those are the times you do stuff like that. Don't waste your time where you can go ahead and have Roxanne cut this promo 40 minutes into the show. Have her cut it at the 9 o'clock hour. There are many other places where she could have cut this promo.
Yep.
Aside
from the Rock and Roxanne argument, taking that aside, I feel like NXT took better advantage of the commercial free tonight than Raw did, of course, because not only did they highlight the women during the 30 minutes, but so much happened in just that Roxanne promo, because I thought it would be just a Roxanne promo and that would be it. But no, we had Lyra coming in, and then Tatum, and then Natty, and then Ava. And even we had a match during the 30 minutes there too. So it's like I feel like definitely NXT took more advantage of the 30 minutes than Raw did of the 1 hour they got. So
yeah, they absolutely did. To finish this off, Bobby Munson says, how many Undertaker championship runs do you recall? All of the world title runs, because there were so few of them. In a career as big as The Undertaker's, the fact that he only had a handful of championship runs makes them memorable. Unlike Natalya, who I can't remember the championship runs, because the more impressive thing is that she's still here. But again, I love Natalya. I think Natalya's great. I have no disrespect to Natalya. But again, Natalya is also not The Undertaker.
yeah, she's the boat.
We get shove that boat straight up. There's some place you can shove that boat, but we'll talk about that later. NAxiom's backstage with Kelly Kincaid. They say nothing of importance other than if they lose this, they probably don't deserve to be tag team anymore, which got me very excited. It got Astrid very sad, but it made me very excited. It also made me sad because I finally gave them a really cool nickname, and I thought they were going to break up. And I was like, oh, that would be a shame if I finally gave them a nickname and they break up.
This is kind of similar to how I felt when I saw Rollins losing and Damon cashing in. Similar, not entirely the same, but similarly. So, thanks, Noah, for the reminder. Thanks.
Aaliyah was at 3:18, I think it was. She beat Natalya in 3 minutes and 18 seconds, which is the most important thing.
No, I thought it was. Wasn't it 3 seconds? Because this is the shortest match. I thought it was 3 seconds.
No, I don't think it's that short. I think
I don't know.
I know the shirt was in the style of like a Stone Cold 316 shirt, so that's why I say it's had to be 3 something. Has Axiom ever said anything worth listening to? No.
Always.
No, never.
Yes. What do you mean?
The only thing worth paying attention to when Axiom talks is the fact that he's able to wear a turtleneck with a mask on. Like, do you know how hot that man must be under a mask while wearing a turtleneck in Florida?
Well, I know he's hot.
No, not that kind of hot. And you don't know if Axiom's hot. You know that A-Kid's hot. There's a difference.
Sure.
Until NXT tells me they're the same person, we don't know one way or the other. You know
I just wanted to catch you off guard.
It could be Christopher fucking Daniels under that mask, for all we know.
What the hell?
I can't tell. It's always muffled. He does a pretty good job I'll be honest. Okay, ripping aside, I think he does a really decent job talking through the mask.
Yeah. Especially when he has a little bit of an accent on top of it. So
I'll agree. He doesn't normally say anything of importance, but I can always understand the non-important things that comes out of his mouth. Going on to important things, we have a Chase U segment. There's nothing important about NAxiom. Bobby Munson says he can't be that hot. He's covering his face and his neck. He must be hiding something. I mean, look at the Phantom of the Opera. That's true. How hot can he be? He's wearing a mask.
Exactly why I was mad that he had a mask.
No attractive wrestler wears a mask. It's been proven. Look at Sami Zayn. Look at Rey Mysterio. That's 2 examples. That's all I need. I don't need to go into the countless other ones like Andrade or Santos or anything like that. I don't need to
I was about to say, you have Andrade and Santos who are prime examples. What the heck?
to be fair, they never wore them in WWE.
Well, Andrade did once. Entrance at
Only
least.
for his debut.
Still, he did.
Is Von Wagner.
Barry, take that back right now. Take that back right now. No.
Moving on to Chase U. Andre Chase is giving certificates of... I don't know what they were called because he kind of muffled the ending of what the certificates were. But they were special certificates.
Yeah, I know. Or was honorary certificates of like Chase U University.
Yeah, but I thought there was something else that he kind of muttered under his breath that I couldn't really understand. But he went ahead and gave both Kelani Jordan and Fallon Henley certificates for their help at Stand and Deliver. Then JC Jane and Jasmine Nix come in, and she asks Andre Chase if he's told Thea the truth yet. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, don't you want to tell the truth as to why the university was at risk and what I had to do to step up to do? And I'm like, finally, we're going to find out what it was. And it could have been anything. It could have been dice games like we saw him playing. It could have been poker or cards like with Duke Hudson, which would have made a lot of sense. No. This man, who I've been defending, stupidly tried to bet against Tiffany Stratton. He deserved to lose the university. I'm sad that JC saved it. Destroy Haitian University now. Done with them.
No.
How dare he?
Thank you, Mike Dever, for contributing to save Chase U. Thank you, sir. That's all we should say.
For legal reasons, he couldn't be understood. Barry Monkey, special awards for being special type of thingy that they give his 6-year-olds for not drowning. It's true. It probably was something like that. But no. So Thea's like, no, that's not true. That's not true. And Jason's like, yeah, ask him. And Andre gets down on a knee and he's like, yeah, I bet the university on the fact that you beat Tiffany Stratton and then I threw in the towel. He's like, you're more important than the university. And I'd always bet on you over the university, which should have been endearing and she should have been happy with. But again, because Thea Hale's crazy and dumb, she storms out of here very angry at him. And I don't understand why. This should have been the moment that brings them back together. Like this... Yeah. Like it's silly that JC would do this because this is the type of thing that you do to bring them back together. Like you believed so much in me that you bet all of the university's money on me winning the championship. And then you saw me in pain and threw in the towel. And for some reason, she took offense to this. And I don't understand.
I don't get it. I really don't because I'm like, if you think about it this way, he has so much faith in you that he thought, and obviously in his eyes, that you will be winning and then Chase U will be fine. Technically, that's how you should be thinking about it. So when she stormed out, I was like, is she mad because of everybody else? I guess I don't understand why she would be upset about it. But it's her. I don't know. I was hoping that would be kind of different. It'll be that kind of way of like her hugging him and thinking of the way of like, look at all this time I was thinking I was a loser and look at you have faith in me the whole time. Something along those lines. I feel like would have been so much better to see. I don't know why she stormed out, but obviously we're going to get answers sometime soon. But I'm like, at least I have an answer to something else. My other two questions are, who is NXT Anonymous? Because we still don't know who it is. I know what you said, but I'm still going to ask the question. And the next thing I have, who was Ava talking to? Was it last week that she said, oh, you're always welcome in NXT? Is it Natty, I'm guessing, because of her coming back? Who was it then? Because to me, it doesn't. No.
Yeah.
I don't like that answer.
I don't care if you like it or not. I'm glad Scarlett's back. Noelle says, because 50-year-old right for a 20-year-old lady. They see her as their daughter. Yes, but that brings more questions than it does answers if they see her as her daughter and why they think that they would get mad at her for doing something for them. It says something real bad about the people in that writer's room and their relationships with their children, if that's what they think. Barry Monkey, nothing about the Chase U story makes sense. I'm sure they changed it halfway through and now are making half-assed attempts to explain it. Like everything about it makes sense. The fact that Andre Chase bet on Thea Hale to win makes sense with everybody's character. The fact that he throws in the towel still makes sense with everything that's in everybody's character. Thea Hale being upset about it way back then, about the towel being thrown in and losing her opportunity at the Women's Championship that she thought she could still win, makes sense. Everything that happened beyond that with JC saving Chase U makes sense. Because she's using it as a power play, like she said at the before Stand and Deliver. All of that makes sense up to here. This is the first part that really doesn't make any sense. Who knows?
I don't know.
Again, you bet against Tiffy time. You're a dummy. It's your fault. You should have lost the university. We then get the Mean Girls Club versus Thea's friends. Plot twist, JC was right about Thea being a brat. Well, I mean, that was always going to be the case. I don't have to like JC Jane to agree that Thea Hale's a brat. That's... No, it doesn't. It makes zero sense. No, it does. So here's how... I'm just going to respond to this, then we can talk about the ladies' tag match here. It makes sense for JC to save Chase Yu because it makes her the center of attention. It brings her back to prominence when JC Jane didn't have anything after Toxic Attraction. After last year when she had her feud with Gigi Dolan coming out of Stand and Deliver, there was nothing left for her to do. She had nothing. The reason why she latched onto Thea Hale is because she saw someone broken who needed a friend. And in JC Jane's mind, a friend is someone I can use. Because she knows Thea Hale is part of an important storyline. So even as in a wrestling sense, it makes sense that Thea's on TV. If I'm friends with Thea, I'm on TV. If I'm on TV, I become important again. Now, granted, she should have gotten more out of this other than just saving the university. And maybe there's more to come with that. And Chase got her and new minions. Yes. And then Chase, you got minions. Everything works for everybody for a certain period of time. Ashley, talk to us about this tag match here.
I feel like the only thing about this tag match is not a lot happening at the beginning. It's more towards the end. I feel like we could highlight is the fact that I believe it was Izzy when she wanted to do a move on Kelani, and Fallon came in and saved her. And in that moment, Kiana took advantage of it, did the 401k, and actually pinned Fallon. So this is them getting the revenge, not only for them winning at Stand and Deliver, but it's also that it kind of adds a little bit more to what we saw Stand and Deliver of. If you notice, the group was actually celebrating after the match, except for Fallon, who was standing up in the corner, very mad and upset, even though she just won a match. So it's definitely going to add up to that, because now she basically sacrificed herself and she still lost. So we'll see how that goes.
Note to all wrestlers. If you're the person in the match who needs to get pinned, don't sacrifice yourself to the person doing the move. Let the partner who's not in the match take the move, then pin the other person.
I'm not ready for this, though. I don't want Fallon as a heel. I feel like she's great as a babyface.
Just so we're clear, the amount of times we've said we're not ready for somebody as a heel, they've never turned heel. Duke Hudson, Nathan Frazer, and now Fallon Henley. We're still waiting for Duke Hudson to turn on Chase University. That's so far back. The schism, we're still here.
But not because JC turned, obviously, in a way. But I don't think we see Duke turning. So
no, we're not going to see Duke turning. But we talked about, for 2 months, we talked about Duke Hudson and when is he going to turn on them.
Yep.
And then Nathan Frazer with all the stupid talk show shit. We're like, oh, this is clearly going to lead to a heel turn. Yeah, nope. It's a year later. He's still doing all the babyface crap.
Yeah.
I thought this was a really good match. I thought there was nothing bad about this match. It was a perfectly standard tag team match. The 401k is still a funny looking move. I don't know if I like it or I hate it. Every week I kind of go back and forth on it. Tonight I liked it. Bad Girls Club gets to win. What do you feel about the name Bad Girls Club? Because commentary called them that twice.
It just reminds me of the show, though. It doesn't remind me of them. So it's I wouldn't put that on it.
The show?
Yeah, Bad Girls Club. Oh my. Okay.
Do I look like somebody who watches reality television?
But there's commercials all the time. Commercials.
Do I look like Shay Sawyer?
You know the network. That gives me a clue that you've seen something.
Do I look like Shay Sawyer? Do I look like I've watched reality shows on Bravo?
I'm gonna send Shay this clip.
That's fine. You can send her whatever you'd like. For 36 minutes.
Hey, you need the network, so that tells me you've seen something, either a commercial or the show.
Million Dollar Listing was a great show for the first 2 seasons. We get a Javon Evans video package, and then
oh my god!
No! I've never seen that show. Thank God.
See, but he knows it's a show, though.
How could you not know that's a show? That's been everywhere on Twitter.
Still, so has Backroom Club.
Never heard of it.
Nah.
Is it associated with the Housewives of everywhere that's garbage? There was what? Atlanta, New Jersey, New York.
You know more than I do.
Hollywood. Okay, so I kind of know about Bravo.
See?
Just so we can clarify some of this, I was engaged for a year and a half, and I was living with her. At some point, I had to watch the crap.
See?
And again, some of them were good. Like I said, Million Dollar Listing was a great show.
I got the answer I needed. See? That didn't last too long.
Fan. I thought I was a Lock Life After Lockup kind of guy. Barry's like, I've never heard of it. Well, no, you're from the UK. I'm not surprised you haven't heard of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Same.
I'm glad I got the answer. That's what I needed. He knows about it. See?
Let's talk about OTM and Javon Evans, talking crap about Javon Evans' video package here.
I wasn't watching it, remember?
Oh, yeah. I forgot. We come back. They come to the ring, and then we get the Candy Crew coming back talking about Bloodsport, which is great.
Yes.
For those that haven't seen it, Charlie Dempsey went out there and put on a damn good show. Fantastic match. If you haven't seen it, go check out Bloodsport. Both Charlie Dempsey and Shayna Baszler. I think I called him Charlie Daniels 3 times in this one.
I was going to say it was Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels is the guy who sings about the devil went down to Georgia. Anyways, Bloodsport. They talk about Bloodsport, and then they talk about how nobody's exempt to the catch clause. And this is very interesting because Drew Gulak got himself in trouble when Ronda Rousey started talking about some things that have happened. We also have seen that NXT people who are at the show have pointed out that there are now only 3 names on the Tron for the Candy Crew.
And this is when you take the pen from Men in Black and you go, there's only 3 of them. Okay, thanks.
There was never a Drew Gulak in this program. You have no idea who this Drew Gulak is.
It's like, there's only 3 members of the Candy Crew. There you go. Nobody knows who it is.
Bloodsport was a fun one-off. Don't want to see it on NXT. We already do see it on NXT. All Bloodsport is, for those that don't know what it is, it's NXT Underground. That's all it is. It's a big wrestling ring with no ropes and just fight till knockout or submission. Drew Gulak sounds like a reality show that I've never heard of. Exactly.
Yeah, never heard of it. Never heard of that name before. I wonder who that is.
Then the family comes out, and this was weird. Like, who's feuding with the Candy Crew right now? Because they want somebody taken out, but I can't for the life of me remember who the fuck they were feuding with before Stand and Deliver.
No, because it kind of was Noam Dar with the Heritage Cup, but like after that, and I didn't see anything that I remember.
Barry,
No.
Drew Lackett said on OnlyFans. No, they would have made a big deal about firing him if that were the case. Unfortunately, it's much worse. Well, Gulak wasn't doing much.
Who?
Agreed.
Who's that?
But no, I have no idea why they would want somebody taken out. So unless this is part of a news story that they're telling, I don't get this. It seems really weird.
I mean, I feel like it was mostly it was Noam Dar and their crew because of the Heritage Cup, but they weren't they part of the tournament too? Like the tag team want to get the shot as well. So maybe looking back at the bracket, I don't remember, to be honest.
But even then, and Stacks poses an actual real question. You guys talk about being tough guys. Why do you need somebody else to do your dirty work? Don't want to get your hands dirty. This apparently offends Charlie Dempsey to no end. And he gets up in Stacks' face, and Rizzo, in her awful, awful accent, Noel Taken says Axiom and bait, but why would they attack? Like, I don't know. I think maybe it's a way to write off Gulak. Maybe they took out Gulak.
You know what? But I'll say, don't know, don't care, don't count on it.
Well, Rizzo starts talking, which makes me very sad, but apparently a match has been made. I don't know, but I think a match was made because as soon as Rizzo started talking, I stopped listening.
Damn.
It's the same way that I watch Little Vice matches.
Yes.
And Astrid knows what that's a reference to. Yeah. Barry Monkey says, it's nice to hear Noam. He speaks from a normal Scottish accent, not that awful Brainheart-sounding rubbish for the likes of Drew.
That rubbish.
If Drew McIntyre could ever take his eyes off of CM Punk, he might actually have been world champion for more than 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh, well.
She's Big Ange to me always. Oh, that's a good reference. Anyways, moving on. We get to see Javon Evans taking on Scrypts. I have one word. Wow. This kid's good. Like, I don't think he can continue doing this for an entire career, but it's fun. Like, I'm not one of these, you can't be a high flyer and be a success in the business. That's obviously not the case. However, I don't think you can continue doing the moves that he does all the time and be a success on the main roster in this business. I think he could be a big deal in NXT. I think he can be a big deal on the indies. He's fun. He's interesting. But I think we proved with Kalisto, with Grand Metalik, that just because you can do fun shit off the ropes doesn't mean you're going to get over. I hope he does. I think he's great. He talks. He seems interesting. He seems likable. I want big things for this dude. I hope he can develop a different style of offense to go with all the high-flying whoop-de-doo bullshit. Because that seated, like, onto Scrypts' shoulders Frankensteiner thing was fantastic. That finishing move is... I don't know how he doesn't get dizzy doing that bullshit every night, because he does like 6 rotations going round and round like a, 43 minutes and 25 seconds. Very monkey. Evans is good, but but a lot like him, that tall, skinny, slow motion move stuff. Yeah, I mean, let him get his stuff in before he can't anymore, so he has to change. Like I'm fine. Like I said, again, I'm not saying he has to change. I'm just saying I want to see more wrestling and less of the high-flying stuff. And I think he'd be good. I think he can still keep all the high-flying stuff. I just want to see him kind of mix it in with more wrestling to, bring it all together. Astrid?
I was going to say, what that last part didn't sound like you. It sounded like you had a weird accent. It threw me off.
Wait, what?
I don't know, the way you said it just sounded different. No, I didn't get to catch it live, but I was watching the clips on Twitter that they had posted. Jesus, I don't know how he does it. It reminds me of Hijo del Vikingo a lot in that aspect. It's like the way you see the things he does, and you're like, how is this real? How is this possible? How can a human being do this? I really don't know. And the thing about him too,
this, huh?
Yeah, how does he do it? I don't know. I really don't understand.
No, you said does it.
Oh, but whatever. But still, I don't understand how he does it. And then not only that, but thinking like he's so young, like he said in the promo, he's only 19. Like, if he keeps going like this, I wonder how long he's gonna be able to do this for us as well. Because that's another point to it. But holy crap. And just I like his energy too. That's another thing about it. Like the energy that he brings out, it's one that I feel like you don't see often from people. So it's like I like how he comes off already. And to think this was his debut, can you imagine what it's like for the rest of like the year for him?
Yeah, like I said, I love him. I think he's great. There's more I need to see more wrestling out of him other than just doing the high flying stuff. Like that makes me old fogey who doesn't like high flying stuff. Fine, that is what it is. But because I think everything else is there. He's got personality. He's got charisma. He's got a vibe. He's got energy.
Yep.
Not as a tag team, but it just as like two guys hanging out together. Him and Trick would work really well together. That vibe, like that passes the, as the kids say, vibe check. I'm definitely too old to say that, but like that feels like the vibe check would pass between him and Trick Williams. Damn Ed Cornette. He also looks like R-Truth's little brother. Oh no. That's not good. Although he would indeed be good for speed, for WWE speed. I won't say it's crappy. I actually really enjoyed the Bronson Reed and Ricochet matches on WWE speed. I like the idea. It's not, I don't want to see it all the time, but I love the idea that there's a version of wrestling where this is the focus. Because you don't have to make every match like this. But if you make it that this is something special, then it can make sense. Just like the British rules match that we have for the cup, for the Heritage Cup rules. Like the fact that the round system is not like professional wrestling doesn't make it any less interesting because it gives you something special and different. So if people wrestle speed matches differently than they wrestled their real matches, like both Bronson Reed and Ricochet did on Monday night, although Ricochet needs to scream less, because that scream clip is everywhere. Also, Ricochet, why would you go on the outside and do the 450? And more importantly, why did you apologize to your woman before you did it? What, because you threw away the world championship, you have to apologize to the woman? No.
That car ride must have been really awkward.
What car ride? He's a star. She's a star. She's a bigger star than he is at this point. What the fuck does it matter what he does?
He's like, well, this is for all the marbles. I'm sorry. And he goes, I'm sorry. He still didn't win.
That's not the one. That's not the WrestleMania weekend. I'm sorry, I love you that I wanted to see.
It's true.
We get a backstage segment where Kelly Kincaid is practicing for her crappy voiceovers that she has to do for the Florida Loop about where we're going to be this week. And she's getting her makeup done, and she's doing that. And she's like, yeah, I can do this. I'm like, well, yeah, it's only Tuesday, this town, Friday, this town. How fucking hard can it be? A robot can do it, Kelly. Come on.
Why are you so angry?
I don't know. I love Kelly Kincaid.
I don't know what came out, but you sounded real mad right there.
I don't understand why she has to practice where the fuck they're going this weekend for NXT Live. Like, how hard can it be? Thursday we're in this town, Friday we're in this town.
Okay, I'll send you one of the one street that I know. I just want to see if you say it correctly. Okay? Okay.
Right, you go ahead and do that. While we're doing that, I'll go talk about the fact that Ridge walks in at this point, and Kelly Kincaid pushes off the makeup lady so that she can go ahead and talk to Ridge, and she asks him about what happened. And he's like, I don't know, man. I blacked out. I need to find Joe. Well, he doesn't have to find Joe because Joe Gacy pops the head right out of the fucking black curtain like he's just hidden there all day waiting for Ridge, I mean, not her, but Ridge, to come through the door. Him and Ridge go back and forth. He talks about how Ridge is, doing this to himself, that, he shouldn't have walked away, that it's just all, pushing everything down and all the anger down in his head. Ridge gets mad and walks away. And he walks into Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde backstage. And they start giving him shit because he's trying to say this is something new for him and it's something he's been dealing with this entire time. They've been on SmackDown with him. They've seen him there. They've worked with him. They know this is just the same Ridge that's always there. Somebody doesn't take accountability for his own actions. Ridge gets mad and tries to walk out the door, but for some reason, stupid Del Toro puts his hand in the door. What are you taught when you're from a little kid? You never put your hand in front of a door. Right? If a door's open, you don't put your hand in the middle of the open doorway. Because what happened? Ridge slams the door shut and it bounces off Cruz's wrist. And he gets all mad and they're like, look, see, you did it again. It's like, it's not his fucking fault. You're the idiot who put your arm in the door. Why are you mad at him? Be mad at yourself, you stupid idiot. Now I sound like Chris Jericho. First I sound like Cornette. Now I sound like Jericho. I'm just getting worse.
I need a new co-host, people. Applications. Thanks.
Yeah, Shay Sawyer would be a great co-host. That is not one of the two towns that she said.
No. I'm not saying it's a town. But
is that a street?
Yeah.
All right. For those that, because none of you can see the private chat, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the
No, I'm just telling you that this is probably why she's practicing, because some of them could be hard sometimes.
And it's Ekalanache.
No, Ikonalahachi.
Okay.
Native American.
Yes, I understand. No shit! I looked at it and saw that it was Native American.
Exactly. Now you know why she was practicing?
No! She was not practicing words like that. She was practicing generic towns.
I know, but who knows what else she had listed on her.
All right, we move on because I know you didn't watch the Ridge section, so I'm going to move on to the next segment. Why don't you tell me about something you did watch? Natalya versus Roxanne Perez.
He's angry today, people. I know why he's so angry. What's going on?
I have a rant coming. I need to get to my rant. I'm angry.
You're building it up until you explode to the rant part.
Talk about the women's championship match.
Thank you, Ophelia. I know. I was like, why were you? Today he's in a hurry because he wants to get to his part. See? Oh my gosh. Anyway, we have Roxanne and Natty. I don't want to say it wasn't a bad match. It's just like a regular match for me. There was not a lot really to highlight. More than anything was the ending or towards the ending. Natty has I was gonna say Roxy, but anyway, still Roxy to me. Roxanne, and she's able to throw her kind of arm first into the steel steps as one of the things that happens. Another thing with when we have her in the cross, she has her in the crossface, and she has the pop rocks ready to go, but Natty counters it, and Natty has a sharpshooter. That's another thing we have, but more towards the end, they're in the outside. And that's when we get Lola. I like how she looks at Natty. She's behind Natty, kind of looking at her like she's hunting for her and waiting for that moment, only for her to do itty bitty kick of heh, and then that's it. And then Natty just falls down like she got knocked out, even though she got hit in the leg, which didn't make sense to me at all, the way she sold it. And then here comes the pop rocks, and then the win is like, she hit you in the leg. Why are you making it seem like she hit you? I mean, in the face or the head. It just it didn't make sense to me the way she landed. It was like, you made it seem like you were knocked out, but she only hit maybe your thigh or your leg. Why? I don't understand. And Lola's like, oh, smiling. I'm like, you barely hit her. You barely touched her. Can you get this woman off my TV, please? Because that's all I could think about. I'm sorry. I really am done with her.
We do have to go to our friend Amanda Savage on Twitter because I saw something and I need to. Yeah. It's not good.
Oh my god. No. Let's see. Drum roll.
Hold on. Twitter is not working with me here. Hold on.
I don't even know what you're looking for. If not, I'll help you.
Lola Vice doing something horrible, then shaking her ass is literally my favorite new little character bit in all of professional wrestling. I'm sorry, Natalya.
No, Amanda.
Come on, Amanda. You can do better than that. Liking Lola Vice? No. The bigger question is, Roxanne had that stupid armbar thing on that she puts on, the crossface, whatever they call it. And she got rolled over by Natalya and got pinned. She got pinned for 3. And the rest 1, 2.
And I got pissed out for the next one. Mm-hmm.
And he stopped until Roxanne kicked out. And I'm like, you should have just counted 3. We should have had a new
Maybe he got paid.
Agreed. Sorry. Not sorry. I don't know if he's agreeing with us or agreeing with Manda. I put in my notes, Lola came out and shin kicked Natalya. It was super effective because Roxanne won. You know what it is, though? We have Barry Monkey here. I wish we had Mark Talks Wrestling here. We have Bobby here, too. You know what it is? It's the... he agrees with Amanda. Oh.
No.
Oh, well. Oh, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. You can like Lola Vice and her shitty little hip dances if you want. Natalya must obviously have played lots of soccer in her youth, because that's all the soccer players know how to do is get tinily kicked on the leg and instantly they get a gunshot and fall down and go boom. So obviously it was her soccer training kicking in for some reason. I don't know why it kicked in there, but it's her soccer training. Terrible wrestling is fun, even when it's overreacting to a weak little kick. You know what? They have to make Lola look strong, because Lola, in the next segment, and I'm going to skip right to this because it's part of this whole thing, says she's sick of waiting around for opportunities, and she's glad that the Women's North American Championship is here because that title's hers. Can she have a good match before she thinks she deserves another opportunity? Hell, she just had the breakout tournament with championship and failed to cash that in. How hard can it be?
When she was with Soul, I don't know why. She said Natty can come to NXT and do anything she wants. I was like, in that sense, of course it's Natty. She's a veteran. You just got here a couple months ago. Of course she can do whatever the heck she wants. And then the next part that she said to Soul, I'm not going to repeat because from where I come from doesn't mean the same thing where she comes from. So I will not say it in Spanish. But, and then her terrible Spanish, she doesn't even sound like she's Spanish. She sounds like somebody faking Spanish. I hate that so much.
She sounded like when I do my Duolingo.
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't sound Spanish.
Off screen before the show, almost every week I do my Duolingo as we talk about what's going on, or as we get ready to go into the show. So Astrid hears me do the ones that I have to speak, and she laughs at me because I have my little itty bitty. She basically called her trash.
Yes,
the last one was Basura.
No, before that, the word that she uses, I'll put it in the chat for you, but it means something else where I come from, so I don't want to say it. So
okay,
yeah.
I mean, you can say it in Spanish; it's fine.
No, my mom may watch this later. I don't want to get in trouble.
We get the Candy Crew versus the JV family. It's not the real family because Tony's not there, so it's just the JV squad of Luca Crusifino and what's his name? Luca Crusifino and
you forgot his name already. I cannot.
Stacks, that's the one. No, we had a network error on the Twitch side, on our local establishment Twitch side. So I wanted to make sure that the stream was still up and running. So I got caught trying to say things and I didn't know where I was going next. This was fine. Nothing important happened in this entire match. It was fine.
Luca looks nice with its long hair out, though. That's all I could say.
Yeah, I liked Luca. Luca looked good. Doesn't she speak Brazilian Portuguese? I believe so.
Who?
Lola.
I don't know. I know she's Cuban. She's Cuban American. So.
I know. I was about to say it's all the same, and it's not. It's really not. There are two separate languages. Brazilian Portuguese and Spanish are two different languages.
Yes, sir.
But to be honest, I honestly don't know the difference between the Cuban flag and the Dominican Republic flag. Because we've been through this. The Puerto Rican flag?
You said Dominican, though.
I did say Dominican. It's not the Dominican Republic. It's even more. Okay. Too late.
Oh,
I've already been canceled, Noel. See?
Great. Ed doesn't know the difference between Puerto Rico and Cuba, even though I'm Puerto Rican. I showed him the flag gazillion times.
I honestly still to this day don't know the difference with the flag. I'll be honest.
And then he said Dominican on top of it, which makes it even worse.
Because it's a different island in the same area.
We're not all the same, Ed, okay? Well, see, he canceled himself. Anyway, Don't ask me that though, because I'm terrible with geography. I can tell you that. At least I can have it my faults.
I think that was meant for me, and you can
I know.
try. I
I
don't
know,
think
but I
you're gonna.
can't.
I don't think you're gonna be surprised when you start getting the answers.
Me? No, I don't think I would.
I'm sorry.
I'm offended too, okay?
To be clear, I know they're not all different. I understand that fact. Just because I can't tell the difference with the flags doesn't mean I know they're not all
I hope
different.
the next test you have in Duolingo is the flags. I swear to God, I hope that's your next test, your next lesson. I hope it is,
Hold
because I
on.
would die. I
You
don't
go
have
ahead.
Spanish. I
You
don't
go
have
ahead and
Spanish on
talk about
Duolingo, so I can't say. But
the Candy Crew.
uh, I can tell you because I think shoot, I remember having the flags, but I remember how early it was for France. So I hope if when you have the flags, I will literally die when you do have that lesson. I hope you
All
do
right.
have Puerto Rican, Dominican Republic, and Cuba, and you can tell the difference.
Present tense in describing activities is my next unit.
I hope you get them soon. Oh my gosh, I really hope you do. Jeez. Uh, but no, like you're saying, it's like there's not much to this man. I like how we like gone off the hills today. I see. I've gone up the tracks today. You can't even say anything about me anymore. Yeah, there's not much to the match though. It's just like more the ending. At the end, it kind of feel like visually it didn't make a lot of sense to me because I thought the Candy Crew was going on to Luca, but then was at the end they're like, "Oh, Luca won over them." I was like, I thought they were going after him, and they were literally like all on top of him, except for Charlie. So I was so confused because I felt like in the background you saw them as Charlie was with the referee, and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, the family won." I'm like, "Wait, what? How did that happen?" It was kind of
Magic.
confusing. Yeah,
Magic.
I don't know what
STG,
happened there.
because I will admit as a kid that I thought all South America spoke Spanish, everyone except Brazil. Wait, that's not the case?
No, Haiti speaks Creole, so it's or French.
But that's part of French, yes. But that's not also
Yeah.
not in South America.
No, I mean,
I'm gonna say, I'm like,
mm,
Haiti, yes, does speak Creole, which is in part French, but it's also not part of South America. Like,
I
my
don't know all of South
geography's
America.
bad, but not really bad. Like, I know some things. We're getting off topic. My understanding of geography is not what's on topic here. We're talking about NXT. We get the NXT Women's North American Championship again. I know the countries in North America. That's Mexico, that's the United States, and that's Canada. Technically, it's also the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, but we're going to ignore that part because that defeats the purpose of what I just said, that we're not talking about that.
Yep.
We then get Obafemi. Obafemi comes out. Oh, hold on. As someone who's gone back to WWE wrestling recently but knows very little about NXT, is it common for wrestlers who've been called up to the main roster to be sent back down again? So it wasn't until recently. In the last few years, since Triple H has gone up and started to help, even when Vince was in charge, when Triple H gave up the reins of NXT to Shawn Michaels and Triple H came back and started helping Vince McMahon, they would send people down. At one point, mostly it was for ratings in the beginning. They would send people down who are ratings draws. Seth Rollins would go down. AJ Styles would go down. It was towards the end of the times where they were doing the Tuesday Night Wars with AEW before AEW moved to Wednesdays. However, at some point, they started making it a more regular thing because they basically, what they're doing is they're taking talent who the main roster has creatively nothing for. So right now, creatively, with Eric out and seemingly apparently nothing for Ivar, they're sending him down to NXT. The Good Brothers, there's really nothing for them creatively to do with AJ Styles while he's taking on LA Knight. So creatively, they can send them down to NXT to go ahead and try to get people interested in the product, to give them something to do so they can earn the paychecks that they're already making. Dolph Ziggler came down to help out NXT talent. And he's more specifically, they wanted him to work specifically with Braun Breaker because Vince was very high on Braun Breaker and people respect Dolph Ziggler's ability. So if Dolph Ziggler comes back and says he's good, he's ready to go, then they can know that they can eventually bring him up to the main roster when they have something creatively for him. All kinds of people have gone up and come down. I like the idea about how to bounce them back and forth, to go ahead and like here with Obafemi. Does a great job. The crowd was less annoying with him this week. He got to stay on point. I like the fact that we talked about he was inevitable because he's Nigerian Thanos. So I am inevitable. I love that idea. That was great. I don't know who scripted it for him or if he just came up with it. Either way, good job. He broke Josh Briggs' ribs. We get an update later on towards the end of the show hearing about that Josh Briggs has broken ribs from the triple threat match, which, by the way, was the best match of Stand and Deliver. And then out comes Ivar, which I was very excited about because he's a local independent. He was a local independent guy who I got to watch on a regular basis out here. Lots of good stuff. Not to mention his time with War Machine, and all the wonderful things that they've done with the variety of names that they've had in WWE. Whether it be the War Raiders, whether it be the Viking Raiders, whether it be the Viking Experience, all the terrible names they've had here. But he comes down and he says, you know what? I saw your match and I got jealous. I got jealous that I wasn't in the fight. I got jealous that I didn't get a chance to hold that title. I got jealous that I'm not the one to fight you. And I'm going to be the one to take that title off of you and knock you off this mountaintop. And Obafemi just like, yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, you're going to do it. And they start fighting. And I'm like, cool. I could be down for this. Obafemi with another big-ass dude to throw around. Like, this is going to be fun. Ivar gets the better of him. He does the little handstandy, like, cartwheel thing that he does. It's not the greatest cartwheel in the world, but it is pretty cool. He's way too big to be doing cartwheels, so it's always cool when you see him do it. And he gets to hold the title high, which means he's obviously not winning the championship, but it'll be a fun match for spring break. I'll be, you know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
Sorry, Monkey. I was going to mock American education, but to be honest, the world is basically Britain used to own it, or doesn't matter in British education.
Yep.
If I knew how to type out the Obafemi chant, I would. If it's, I believe it's still Umpha. It's the one that they have in Black Panther for the M'Baku's tribe.
I still don't know how to spell it.
I don't either. That makes sense, and I dig it. I'm guessing there were times back in the day where someone was called up to, STG. Oh, STG, my friend. You need to watch Talking Takeover. You, my friend, will love. I need stories. You, my friend, go back to watch Talking Takeover. So for those that don't know, we do have a secondary show that we do every now and then. We haven't done it in a while because we've been caught up in WrestleMania fever. It will be coming back either next week or the week after. And what it is we go back and review the NXT takeovers. We started with the first event that was on the WWE Network, the first live event, which was NXT Arrival, which isn't technically a takeover. But we started there. And we keep going on from every takeover in existence. We just finished talking about Baron Corbin's debut in NXT. Again, Baron Corbin was on this show. We were talking about the night he debuted in NXT. We haven't even seen Kevin Owens yet. So go ahead and watch this because we have a fun segment every show where towards the end or during some of these matches, we talk about where these people have gone. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is they've disappeared. Nobody knows where they are anymore.
Yep.
No, it's right here on our local establishment. It's just a YouTube video called Talking Takeover. We should have a playlist on the channel for it, on the YouTube channel. Ashley's going to go ahead and look that up. Did you have any thoughts on the Obafemi promo here?
No, I liked it. It was like, I guess I missed that on the Ivar coming down. So I was surprised when he came down. I was like, this is going to be super interesting because I like their like similar styles they have. But yeah, going back to it, yes. I started playing, which I don't like. Okay. So yeah, if you go on our local establishment YouTube channel and on the playlist, there's one that says Talking Takeover. So he says you can look the whole playlist and there's the 3 episodes already.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of
go.
fun. We enjoy doing it. It has a cool video, which we'll play later on in the show. When we stop the show tonight, stick around and we'll play that video as we go out tonight. It's a fun video. I made it. Yay, we have a new subscriber on the YouTube side.
And you can click on the bell to be notified when there's a new upload.
Yeah, that is also a thing you can do. Metaphor are all excited about their stand and deliver time. They apparently have a bunch of money. I'm not going to talk about where they got that money. They say it's bonus money, but I imagine it's not.
Sure.
It's I think nearly half the TNA rosters used to be in NXT.
Well, some
of them, not as many as there used to be, but there's some of them. A lot of them do end up in TNA at some point, though. I will say that.
I think a lot of them, though, if you don't realize it, they end up being like rosebuds and like being the conga line later with No Way Jose. So those are the ones that are fun to kind of watch out for.
Oro Mensa is very upset that Obafemi slammed him into the wall, and he says that he's going to be the one to take down Obafemi. Sure, Oro. You go ahead and do that. You sweet summer child, you. No, the man who very well might dethrone Obafemi just got out of rehab. And that man is Wesley. Wesley is officially considered healed because I believe he just ended rehab. Obviously, it wasn't just the surgery. He had the surgery months ago. But with all the hospital pictures, I'm assuming that means that he's done the necessary rehab. And now starts the wrestling portion of the rehab. So it's not like we're going to see him next week. This is still going to be months and months of recovery before we see him. But it's nice to know that he's on the right track. Lord knows Ashla's excited to see Wesley again.
Yay.
We get Jaida Parker versus Brinley Reece. This match went way longer than I thought it was going to. Yeah. Why did it go this long? I don't know. Like, I'm all for women's wrestling getting the time it deserves. I'm fine with that. And I saw tweets last night being like, I thought we moved on in women's wrestling. Why was there only a 30-second squash match? The answer is because it's Jade fucking Cargill and it's Chelsea Green. And as much as I adore Chelsea Green, it does more for her to get beat in 30 seconds than it does for her to get beat in 6 minutes. Not only for Jade Cargill, I'm talking about any match. Any match with Chelsea Green, the quicker she loses the match, the better it is for her character. Because she's the, I'm going to go talk to the manager.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to hear people bitching about Chelsea Green matches being short, because those matches are designed to be short for a purpose in the story.
It was still fun, though.
It was fantastic. It made Jade look like $1 million, even though she's not. It made Chelsea Green look like a loser, which she was in that match. And it gives her a chance to go back and talk to some random guy. I swear I thought she was talking to a mirror. Have you seen this promo on digital yet? Later on in the app. There was later on in the after the match.
Okay, no.
She was talking and she's pointed like off screen, like she's looking off screen. And she's talking to somebody. And it's just some random guy who has a beard and a bald head. But she thought it was Adam Pearce. So she's yelling at him about, how could you do this to me? I'm so important. Who the hell is she? She's not even on this brand. Where the hell did she come from? And all this jibba jabba. And then the random guy goes, I'm not Adam Pearce. And I'm like, damn, I really thought she was just looking at a mirror and just yelling at a mirror. Because the guy was off screen. We never saw him at all until the camera pans to him after she's done, which is fantastic. Barry Monkey says, also, of course, I mentioned that the other day, a third of the wrestlers on WrestleMania Night 2 were former TNA champions. Yes, and now they're in the big time. Anyways, Jaida Parker. What do you think of Jaida Parker versus Brinley Reece?
Mm, I really don't have thoughts on it, to be honest. It was a match, and it happened, and a hip attack happened, and then obviously Jada won because
It
obviously
got good
Brinley's not gonna
time.
lose.
It
Yeah,
got good
it
time.
did. Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the time it got.
I feel it was one of those like you automatically know Brinley's gonna lose no matter what because that's what her character is like. So you're like, just make it happen because it's gonna happen.
But it's building Jaida. It's showing us more about Jaida.
Mm-hmm.
Jada's going to be a threat in this tournament for the Women's North American Championship. And I'm excited for that. Like, I think we're going to see more and more of these matches where some of these lower
Mm-hmm.
tier ladies are going against some of these women who are going to be shoo-ins for this tournament to prove to us that we have the division that's deep enough to do this. And by the way, the fact that we can have a Jaida Parker who's on the upswing and a Brinley Reece who's still an enhancement talent, and they can go 4 or 5 minutes, I think this match was, and have it
Mm-hmm.
not be like, God, this took forever. What the hell was this? And be like, it was a fine television wrestling match. Like, it wasn't good. It wasn't great. There wasn't anything to write home about. But it wasn't like we were watching Lola Vice like this.
No, not the same at all.
Or, or for some of us, NAxiom. Noelle says, get her away from OTM. Aww.
I feel like
I
she
like
fits well
her.
with them. She fits better with them than Rizzo does with the family.
But they need to get OTM up quicker. They need to
Mm-hmm.
get them. They need to start the push for OTM
Yeah,
because
because
what Noel's say. I think what
yeah,
Noel's trying to say is that her with the
mm-hmm.
losers that OTM
Yeah,
are makes her look worse in distinction,
yeah, because
and I
she
can
does feel
agree with
like higher up than them. Yeah, yeah, I get that. She feels higher up than them already. She's been wrestling probably less than them in TV at least, but
that.
like I said, it just like her inclusion in OTM made more sense to me than Rizzo with the family. Like the way she was able to jump in and fit in so quickly, it was something I wasn't expecting. Versus with Rizzo, and you're like thinking, oh, she might fit well, and then she started talking. You're like, nope, get her the hell out of here already. So it definitely feels like both things started happening around the same time, and you can see how one fits and one doesn't. But she fits so well with the group. But I get what you mean of like she feels like she has a bigger star presence already.
Yeah, they're bringing her down. They're back in the mud. They're back in the mud. No, I get that. Like that on
Mm-hmm.
that rationale for it, I
Yeah.
understand. And like I said,
Yeah.
that's more about getting OTM up, bringing OTM to her level,
Mm-hmm.
than bringing her down, like getting her away from them. Because I think she gives them much needed star power right now.
Yep.
I think if you're going to get rid of anybody in OTM, it's Scrypts. Because I think her interactions with Bronco and Lucian are really good. Those
They feel
three are a nice
genuine.
creative unit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scrypts is there. And Scrypts is
Yeah.
Scrypts.
Mm.
I think WWE badly needs someone good at picking up team names. Like I said, NAxiom is a good name. They should contact me. I can do this. Anyways, I'm not gonna bother trying to figure out what I would call OTM. We have the Soul and Ariana conversation. I still need to see Gigi Dolan.
What's
Where
happening
is
there,
Georgiana? Where is
Georgina?
she? Georgiana. At this point, it doesn't matter what the fuck we
I was
call her.
like,
She's not on our.
we've only seen them together for like 5 seconds in one segment backstage. I was like, where the heck is Gigi now?
Yeah. Where did Gigi go?
It doesn't
Why did
make.
she just?
I like. Don't get me wrong. I like what Ariana's doing, but it becomes at a point of like her calling her talking about her, but she doesn't show up. Feels kind of odd. At the same time, like I expected, not the same thing, but like that Fallon and Tiffany segment, something like that along those lines of like give her the makeover that you're always talking about. Because she's always talking about giving her the makeover. Well, I'm gonna get her this. It's for her, but you never see her to actually physically have it. So it's like, why it's going on with the timing here with Gigi being off TV and this? It's not helping in that sense of it. Like it's not progressing.
You know what it makes me feel like? Emelina. Remember
Mhm.
how long it took to get to Emelina? And then
Yeah.
Vince didn't like it one night and got rid of the whole fucking thing?
Mm. I don't know. It feels weird. I don't know if I don't think I've been looked at her social media to see she's been active either. So it's like it feels kind of odd, like her absence, like as a whole.
We then get Ashton's favorite part of the night, and then swiftly after her least favorite part of the night, NAxiom taking on the Wolf Dogs. Astrid, how did you watch this wrestling match? And if you don't tell the people, I'm gonna get the picture.
Like this, because I didn't know what was gonna happen. I had a feeling, but still, yeah.
Before we get there, I felt a sinking feeling in my heart when I heard Solberg say "dude." No one should ever say "dude." It should be banned from television. I get it. It wasn't great. By the way, Lola Vice was part of this thing. I didn't write it down.
No, that's what I mentioned earlier.
No, I know. In my notes, it says, then Soul tells Lola like it is. I'm going to be bad if Gigi gets called. I am too. If Gigi gets called up and we don't get any of this makeover stuff, I'm going to be upset.
Actually,
me and my friend Mark will send a strongly worded tweet to quote Triple H when CM Punk stuff was going on. No, that's the funny meme from Triple H and CM Punk way back in the day. I'll show it to you after the show. Anyways, NAxiom versus the final test. NAxiom versus the Wolf Dogs.
Man, do I want to talk about it?
Well, if you're not going to talk about it, I'm going to. So you should start.
Well, I feel like in my mind I already kind of knew based on the stipulation of like when NAxiom does lose, they don't get to team up again. I said, okay, so you're telling me they're winning. And it became bittersweet because even though I'm not entirely a fan of Bron Breaker, he has been growing on me with Baron Corbin. And it's like this ending, it feels kind of quickly in a way. I didn't want it to end. I really didn't. But then obviously I don't want Nathan and Axiom to break up. So I was really torn about this match so bad. And just thinking of like I love how the match happened. It just reminded me again how great their match was. I Stand and Deliver too. It's one of my favorite matches of the whole show. And they have such a great chemistry. It's like they have such a good back and forth. And Bron Breaker, they even mentioned how Bron shifted the ring with the running the ropes on at Stand and Deliver too. So that's the only thing I see from her. Getting mad at her.
Well, at least we have an explanation. Gigi Dolan's running away from Ariana Grace's ideas like Jack Sparrow. That at least gives us something.
Something. But yeah, just like the match in itself, I enjoyed watching it, but I just like bittersweet because I didn't want Baron to lose this after I feel like just winning it. And then it makes me think of like this is probably Bron's last match in NXT going to the main roster because he got signed before the draft begun. So we'll see how that goes now. But it's like, what happens with Baron in NXT now? Do we keep him in NXT? Does he go up with Bron? Because I like them together and I don't want them to be done. And he kind of had a little sad face when after the match is over, when and outside of the ring too. I did like the part when Bron is going to do the spear and the guys move out of the way and you think he's gonna hit Baron, but he actually stops right in the way before he does. He's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay?" I was like, my heart is breaking and this is happening. I just couldn't deal with it. I'm glad Nathan and Axiom won, but I just didn't want Bron and Baron to just kind of break off from this though.
I realized this match was designed to be a bit of a mess, but it was too much of a mess with terrible acting by Bron. I thought it was fine. However, we now get to the point in the show where Ed rants.
Okay.
Why the fuck didn't we just do this at the goddamn pay-per-view?
I don't know.
Why? We didn't pop a rating. Nobody tuned in to see the rematch. I tuned into NXT like I would any other week. Just because there was a rematch doesn't mean I was going to tune in again. Why the fuck didn't we do this at the big pay-per-view show that we had the other day? You know, the big show with 16,000 people?
Really? There was a big show somewhere?
Not the show with 200 people in Florida? Like, come on. You did this in front of 200 Floridians when you could have done it in front of 16,000 screaming fans.
What do you have against Floridians, sir?
I mean, there's a reason why I said why there's a segment called Florida Man ...
No, I don't care.
Floridians are a little, you know. out there. I have no earthly understanding why they did this tonight. Like, what changed between Saturday and today? Like, did we magically remember that Braun Breaker's being called up to SmackDown at some point?
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense that maybe Roxanne's losing the title and getting drafted. That makes sense. But we make that part of a storyline. We don't just drop the title tonight to Natalya and go, well, Roxanne's getting called up. Mission accomplished. I can't fucking understand. Like, you had the pay-per-view. It was right there. The wrestling club was there. Do you know how excited they would have been to have gotten to see that moment live? You had 16,000 people at WrestleMania audience. The biggest show in NXT history. 16,500 people, which means at least 14,000 people were in that building. Because WWE lies a little bit about all attendance numbers.
You want to get a tattoo of it too?
No, I'm not getting a tattoo of it. I'm not Tony Khan. I'm not a fucking retard.
It's Osprey, for sure.
What was it? Who was it that got the number tattoo? Was it a Khan?
No, it was Osprey.
Even worse. Even worse is Will Ospreay. And I like Will Ospreay, but Ospreay's an idiot too.
Yeah, that was a punk joke.
I know it was a Punk joke. That's why Punk said it to Charlotte at on WrestleMania Night 1 post show with ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the clip. I love the clip. I thought it was a Tony Khan joke, to be honest with you.
No.
Everything else Punk's been doing is a Tony Khan joke. Although Tony Khan's making his own funny jokes by saying he's going to release the footage on Wednesday night.
Oh gosh, when I get started on that, we got already gone up on the show today.
But I don't understand what good this did to do it here, with the exception of the only thing I can think of is the Final Testament portion. But if that's the case, why didn't you just do the rematch with Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker tonight, and then still do the same run-in? Does it matter if they won the titles tonight, or if they just ran in on them tonight? Like, is there that big a difference?
Not to me.
Well, the crowd is big. Are there more people actually watching when it's on a TV show? Sort of. Yes, there are more people watching on the TV show, but this is NXT. The ratings don't change much. Like, this title change isn't going to spike ratings this week, and it's not going to spike ratings next week. Like, those things aren't going to change anything. It'd be different if, say, Seth Rollins came down to NXT. You know, if Barry Monkey, you'll agree with me on this one. If the WWE's 2023 Wrestler of the Year, Dominic Mysterio, came back to NXT, that would pop a rating. But having a rematch of the match that you just had on Saturday doesn't do anything special.
See, if you give me Rollins versus Nathan, there you go.
I can go take a nap if we have that match.
Damn.
But we get the show for next week. Noam Dar versus Dijak. Ridge versus Joaquin Wilde. Ridge is a
retirement.
I know, it's already done. Sol Ruka versus Lola Vice. That's going to be tragic.
I want to watch it like this too.
And then we get Trick Williams coming out. And he says, you know what? Without Mello, there is no Trick. And Mello is him. But what's next for Trick Williams? Well, obviously, as Trick Williams says, it's to slay the Mad Dragon. He calls out Ilya, and Ilya comes out and he says he's proud of him. He's proud of him for being in the main event. He's proud of him for winning against Carmelo Hayes. And he wants another shot at the NXT Championship. Well, his answer is no. No match for you. No soup for you. Ilya is now, no, we're not making that joke. No. Anyways, moving on. Ilya says, Trick, I know you're feeling yourself right now, but you've got to go to the back of the line. It's time for somebody else to get an opportunity. You had your chance, and you blew it. Trick says, I don't care what it takes. I'll do whatever it takes. Who do I have to go through? What gauntlet do I have to run to get another shot at the Mad Dragon. And Ilya says, fine. You know what? I know you're crazy and you'll do anything. Here's what it's going to be. You get another shot at the NXT Championship. However, if you lose, you leave NXT. Trick Williams says, absolutely. If I lose, I don't deserve to be in NXT. And then he's attacked by Carmelo Hayes, and he bumps into Ilya Dragunov, and then Melo hits him a couple more times, and he picks up, for some reason, he picks up the NXT Championship, shoves it in Trick's face, and says, you and me, you're not making it, it's a spring break in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, it's you and me inside of a steel cage. And I was just like, huh? A lot happened in a very short period of time here. What are your thoughts on the Trick promo? Ilya's coming back at him, the championship match that Ilya made, and then Carmelo Hayes dropping the bombshell that next week is a steel cage match.
I mean, I said it to you, and I'll say it here too. I'm glad I'm not Trick Williams. It's just like, what? Why would you put him in a steel cage? What? Without his consent? No, he didn't ask for this. I'm like, I know that the steel cage kind of matches are like the end of all the rivalries, but I thought the main event would have been it. I was not expecting a little something else on top of it, like a little sprinkle something else. So, what? I was kind of confused. But I don't know if I should be glad at the same time because we're getting another match, and hopefully that will be better than what Stand and Deliver was. No offense. But I was like, wait, what? No, I'm still like, what? I'm still speechless about this, sort of. And the part of like Ilya going, oh, lose, like if you lose, you leave NXT. I thought at first it was whoever loses leaves NXT. So I was like, okay, that would makes it interesting because Dragunov already got he got eligible for the draft. So I was like, okay, that would be interesting. But then he said, if you lose, you leave NXT, meaning only Trick. I was like, I'm not happy about this.
Well, because it's essentially still the loser leaves NXT match because if Ilya loses, he's draft eligible, and no GM in their right mind isn't going to draft Ilya Dragunov if he's draft eligible.
Especially after that reaction yesterday.
I mean, he wrestled Nakamura on Monday Night Raw and and again, doesn't count. It's a Raw after Mania audience. That crowd knows who the NXT people are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, even Roxanne got a reaction. I mean, let's be honest, no reason to cheer that loudly for Roxanne anyways. But we'll talk about that another time. Mary Monkey says, I thought while watching Stand and Deliver, it should have been some stipulation match. The cage would have made more sense there. I agree, and the cage makes a bunch of sense. I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be great. But that's the end of NXT. Astrid, what do you got coming up this week?
I don't think I have anything else for now.
No ladies wrestling showcase?
We'll see how we feel on Friday.
All right, so that's a no.
No, I mean, it's this time. I don't want to say it's anybody's fault, but I know Mel hasn't been doing well, so I've been letting her have a little moments because when I need my mental health breaks, she's very patient with me. So that's all I can say about that. But either way, there might be a ladies special showcase. Hopefully, I know we'll probably mention a little bit of what happened at Mania and all that stuff. So it'll be super interesting with everything going on, and then Julia signing and Julia coming to NXT. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, well, you can find all my stuff on my YouTube channel, which is like my name, Astrid Pizarro, and then my Twitter, Blue Skies, Astrid Pizarro as well, Instagram and Threads, Astrid Pizarro 20, and then we'll be back here again on Tuesday doing NXT again. Woo-hoo!
And before we get to my stuff, I want to go ahead and play a quick clip of the next Astrid Asks. We've been waiting for it for a couple of weeks. Body Slam has to...
Week of the year.
Body Slam's had a busy couple of weeks and they haven't been able to get it uploaded, but hopefully it'll be this weekend. And here's the interview. And here's a clip from the interview.
Week of the year. And that was to debut on a major company. And I got to debut on Ring of Honor alongside one of my best friends, Brittany Jade. And that was an amazing experience. I later got to work a couple more dates with AEW, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity they gave me and the platform they gave me. So I was happy to mark that goal off, and I hope that goal keeps growing. Hopefully.
And of course, you can find me on Twitter at edfries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/edfries2002. I want to thank you all for joining us. It's been great. Remember that I have Marvel Talk coming up tomorrow, as we're going to be talking about the first 5 episodes of X-Men 97. So that'll be fun. It's been a good first 4 episodes. The new episode drops later on this evening / early this morning. So we're going to go ahead and watch that tomorrow while I'm working, so we can go ahead and talk about that right after AEW Dynamite. So you might even get some AEW snark in me on Marvel Talk tomorrow, depending on how that shit show of a segment goes. But for myself, for Asher Bizarro, thank you for joining us. And here is the Talking Takeover video that you'll see every time we do Talking Takeover. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
You're never gonna look back, 'cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a